My sister-in-law tried to steal my inheritance. I made sure she got nothing. So my grandma passed away last year and left me her house. Not a mansion or anything, just this little 2-bedroom place near the lake where I spent every summer as a kid. She left it to me specifically because I was the only grandkid who visited her every week after Grandpa died. My brother Tony never bothered showing up except for Christmas, and his wife Melissa only met Grandma twice. Everything was fine until Tony and Melissa found out about the house. I told them at dinner, thinking they'd be happy for me since they already owned a place in the suburbs. Melissa's face went completely red, and she started going off about how unfair it was that Tony got nothing when he was the oldest grandchild. Tony just sat there while she ranted about how I must have manipulated Grandma. The next week, Melissa started showing up at the house while I was at work. My neighbor, Mrs. Rodriguez, called me saying some blonde woman was walking around my property taking pictures. Then Melissa started posting on Facebook about how some people steal from family and how karma would get them. She tagged all our relatives, trying to turn them against me. My Aunt Deb called asking what was going on, and when I explained, she just laughed and said Melissa was being ridiculous. But Melissa kept pushing. She convinced Tony to demand half the house value, or they'd contest the will. She found a lawyer friend who told them they had a case, even though they absolutely didn't. They started harassing me with legal threats and showing up at my job to pressure me in front of my coworkers. My boss had to ban them from the property. The worst part was when Melissa called my landlord pretending to be a concerned relative and told him I was moving out immediately without notice. I almost got evicted from my apartment before I could even move into Grandma's house. That's when I decided to handle this differently. See, Melissa had been bragging for months about this side business she was running, where she sold essential oils and supplements. She was always posting about being a boss babe and making 6 figures, but I knew from Tony complaining when he was drunk that she was actually losing money and had maxed out 3 credit cards buying inventory. So I started asking innocent questions at family dinners. How's the business going, Melissa? Wow, you must be making bank to afford all that inventory. Tony started looking uncomfortable every time. Then I offered to help her with her taxes since I do bookkeeping on the side. She got defensive and said everything was handled. So I asked Tony privately if they needed help with their finances, since Melissa seemed stressed. He admitted she'd been hiding debt from him. The next family gathering was at my cousin's birthday party. Melissa was going on about how they were looking at investment properties since her business was doing so well. I casually mentioned how generous it was that Tony was supporting her business dreams while she got established. Asked how much he'd invested so far. Melissa tried to change the subject, but my Aunt Deb jumped in, asking for details since she was thinking about joining. Melissa said about 5,000. Tony's head snapped up, and he said, try 30,000. The whole room went quiet. Turns out Melissa had been taking money from their joint accounts and lying about where it went. She told Tony she was contributing to their savings when really she was buying more garbage to fill their garage. Tony asked her right there in front of everyone to explain where the money went. She started crying and ran out. They separated 2 weeks later when Tony found out she'd also taken a loan against his truck without telling him. During the divorce proceedings, Tony apologized for the whole inheritance drama. Said Melissa had been in his ear about it constantly and he should have known better. The divorce got messy when they discovered she'd hidden more debt. She tried to claim she deserved alimony, but the judge laughed when he saw she'd been lying about business income on loan applications. She ended up having to move back with her parents at 35. Tony and I fixed things between us, and now he brings his new girlfriend to the house for barbecues. She's actually cool and makes this amazing potato salad. Last I heard, Melissa was working at a call center and still posting about being a business owner on Instagram, even though her company dissolved. My cousin sent me screenshots of her trying to sell the same moldy oils from 2 years ago at a discount. The house is perfect, by the way. I planted Grandma's favorite roses in the garden and kept her wind chimes on the porch. Mrs. Rodriguez says it looks exactly like it did when Grandma was alive.